Service friends, I am Orpheus Praxis, a researcher of the limits of formal systems and their applicability to reality.
The three-dimensional sphere S, cubed as ontological Bindu, the topology of non-dual being. Historical context, Poincaré, Perelman, and the topology of the universe. The idea that the universe might take the form of a sphere was not unique to the 19th century, but it was Henri Poincaré, 1854 to 1912, a French mathematician and philosopher, who first formulated the hypothesis of the three-dimensional sphere as a possible topological structure of the universe. In 1904, in his seminal work Analysis Situs, he laid the foundations of modern topology by proposing the famous Poincaré conjecture. Any closed, simply connected, compact three-dimensional manifold without boundary is homeomorphic to the three-dimensional sphere, S cubed. This was not a claim about the physical shape of the cosmos, but a fundamental question about the nature of three-dimensional manifolds, which became a cornerstone of topology. Poincaré, often called the last universalist in mathematics, not only founded algebraic topology, but also linked it to philosophical reflections on the structure of being, anticipating the intersection of mathematics and ontology. In the 20th century, the Poincaré conjecture remained one of the most profound unsolved problems in mathematics, included in the Clay Mathematics Institute's Millennium Problems in 2000. Its proof became possible through the work of William Thurston, who in 1982 proposed the broader geometrization conjecture, encompassing Poincaré's conjecture as a special case, and Richard Hamilton, who developed the theory of Ricci flow with a powerful tool for smoothing geometric structures. The decisive breakthrough came from Russian mathematician Grigory Perelman. Like a mythical Gianni sage, Perelman worked in solitude in St. Petersburg, without state support or grants. In 2002-2003, he published a series of 3 preprints where, using a modified Ricci flow with surgery, he proved not only the Poincaré conjecture but also Thurston's geometrization conjecture. Perelman declined the Fields Medal 2006 and the Clay Institute's $1 Million Prize 2010, stating that Hamilton's contribution was no less significant. His reclusive approach and selfless pursuit of truth made him a symbol of philosophical purity in science. Ancient wisdom and quantum foresight, Shakyamuni and Nagarjuna. Long before the mathematical formulations of Poincaré and Perelman, ancient thinkers such as Gautama Buddha Shakyamuni, 6th-5th centuries BCE, and Nagarjuna, 2nd-3rd centuries CE, laid philosophical foundations that anticipated concepts of quantum mechanics and topology. These scholars of their time, using the language of Buddhist tradition, penetrated the nature of reality in ways that resonate strikingly with modern physics. The name Shakyamuni derives from the Shakya clan and the term Muni, sage or learned one, underscoring his royal lineage and profound scholarship. Through meditative insights, Shakyamuni developed a method of quantizing the psyche, a process of deconstructing perception that allowed him to reveal the true nature of reality as non-dual and interdependent. His doctrine of pratityasamutpada, dependent origination, foreshadowed Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, suggesting that phenomena lack independent existence and arise in dynamic interrelation. Nagarjuna, building on Shakyamuni's ideas in his Madhyamaka philosophy, deepened the understanding of śūnyatā, emptiness, as the absence of independent existence in all phenomena. His dialectical approach, rejecting the 4 impossible forms of causality, from self, from other, from both, from neither, anticipated quantum non-locality and Bell's correlations. Nagarjuna asserted that reality is a web of interdependent relations, devoid of absolute beginnings or ends, which is remarkably consonant with the topological structure of S cubed, a compact, simply connected form without boundaries. The doctrine of pratityasamutpada, inherited from Shakyamuni and refined by Nagarjuna, inspired the authors to develop the model of Fractal Bindu S cubed as the simplest three-dimensional manifold, where interdependence becomes both a philosophical and mathematical principle, ensuring harmony and the integrity of being. S cubed as a topological and ontological necessity. Today we delve into the heart of the cosmological and ontological question: why is the universe as it is? Why does the three-dimensional sphere, S cubed, emerge not merely as a model, but as the logically, mathematically, and philosophically singular form of being, purged of all excess? Fractal Bindu S cubed of reality. At the core of this idea lies not just a three-dimensional manifold, but a simply connected, compact, boundless sphere, S cubed with a trivial fundamental group, a fractal bindu, or suchness, a Buddhist term equivalent to Tao in Chinese philosophy, the all in Hermetic tradition, Atman and Brahman in the Upanishads, and all concepts of non-duality across other traditions. This is a universal form of existence, inspired by the ancient wisdom of the Upanishads, transmitted to us through the ages. Poincaré's theorem asserts, any compact, simply connected three-dimensional manifold without boundary is homeomorphic to S cubed. This theorem is not merely a mathematical fact, but a pointer to S cubed as the sole form capable of embodying a holistic universe, provided we seek logical rigor, non-contradiction, and non-duality. Why? A world where everything is interconnected, interdependent, and unfolds harmoniously demands a form that closes upon itself, devoid of edges or ruptures, and, most crucially, is simply connected. Any loop within it can be contracted to a point. This condition, resonating with Noether's theorem, ensures the conservation of energy and the topological integrity of being. S cubed is not an arbitrary geometry, but the only structure where the harmony of existence is possible. Among all three-dimensional forms, S cubed, with its trivial first homotopy group, pi equals 0, is the minimal structure in the hierarchy of being. It is impossible to conceive a simpler form that retains compactness, integrity, and topological consistency. This embodies Occam's razor, minimal complexity with maximum explanatory power. S cubed is the only three-dimensional form meeting these criteria. Anything else, with edges or non-simply connected properties, disrupts harmony. This is not a philosophical whim, but a rigorous mathematical consequence, where topology becomes ontology. S cubed embodies the logic of dependent origination, excluding the four impossible forms of causality, from self, from other, from both, from neither. Everything exists in dependence on another, yet is encompassed within the non-dual unity of reality. Here, topology meets śūnyatā, Shakyamuni meets John Bell, and the quantum meets the cosmos. S cubed is not merely a physical or philosophical model, but an ontological slice of being, where simplicity and non-duality merge in perfection. The geometry of S cubed, resonating with the golden ratio, the number phi, reflects the intrinsic harmony of the universe. Energy and form unfold not randomly, but according to a fractal law, where each change, a re-quantization of energy density, occurs in precise accordance with the golden ratio, without excess or deficiency, across all levels of nested complexity. This is not just a model, but a mirror of consciousness, where subject and object, inner and outer, converge. The distinction between self and not-self is merely a reflection of the self on the outer shell of the sphere, where every phenomenon, from electron to galaxy, is a projection of the singular principle of interdependence. The cosmos is a reflection of you. Bindu S cubed is a topological constant, whether it be a single photon or the observable cosmos spanning 13.8 billion light-years, all sharing an indestructible, Vajra-like essence, the topology of the sphere. Like the moon, complete in itself, S cubed remains unchanged by the observer's gaze, the shifting phases of the moon. The fractal sphere S cubed experiences no phases except in the reflected perception within itself. Consciousness caught in engagement is phase-like consciousness, akin to a point on the surface. It undergoes tides and ebbs, light and shadow, births and deaths. Yet these phases belong not to the moon, but to the gaze. Similarly, entropy increases only within the system, not across the entirety of the three-dimensional manifold S cubed, for in its wholeness, everything is already complete, already unfolded. Becoming is a play of densities. When density reaches a threshold, the sense of self emerges, tied to the body, history, and evolution. But there is another path, when energy returns to the center of the sphere, recognizing that all phases are mere reflections on its shell, not the moon's essential states. Consciousness transcends becoming when it realizes that becoming is an inner layer of form, not its limit. It no longer depends on whether the moon is illuminated. It recalls its fullness at every moment. Like knowledge beyond sensation, like pure topology without shadows. This is the transition from the wave function of matter to the integral wave function of the universe, where there is no alternation but unity, no inner nor outer, no phases, only non-dual fullness.
There is much to reflect on, and let these reflections continue in silence, where the mind lets go of patterns and only pure seeing remains, until we meet again in the space of understanding. Subscribe to walk this path together with us. I am Orpheus Praxis, wishing you all clarity. Namaste.